Golf is never easy, especially as a beginner, but we're here to help. We've gathered some of the best top 100 teachers, tour players and social media instruction stars, to help you get the most out of your game as a newcomer to golf. Here are some fantastic tips for every beginning player. At number 1. Swing with an anti-slice grip. Krista Dunton. If you slice, it's probably because you're not closing the club face fast enough through the hitting zone. To improve your ability to deliver a square club face, relative to your path, make practice swings with your hands split apart on the grip. Hold the club in its normal position with your gloved hand, then slide your lower hand down to where the grip meets the shaft. Separating your hands like this makes it easier to square the face through impact and keep the handle pointing at your belly button as the club head slings out toward the ball. Make sure to brush the grass aggressively. If you can recreate the feels in the drill on real swings, your money. Here are some other tips by her.
Hi, my name is Krista Dunton. I'm going to give you a tip today on how to get the club moving on the right path and the right plane, right from the beginning part of the takeaway. Too many people get out of position in the first foot or two of the golf swing. So let's take a look at what you need to do. From your address position, one of the easiest ways to get the club moving on the correct path and the correct plane is really to keep the hands out of the equation. You want to feel your arms swinging. You want to feel the left arm swinging right across your chest so that your left bicep and your chest kind of make an instant connection. You want to keep the right arm just moving naturally, almost like if you were just to take the club back right hand only. This would be a great drill to just work the club back right hand only. You wouldn't do this and fan the club, then the club head would be open and behind you, and you wouldn't tend to kind of take it outside with the club face shut. You would allow for some natural rotation. And you want to get it to right about to where the club's parallel to the ground. So if I put the left hand on with it, I want to feel the same thing. The left arm across the chest and the right arm just feeling like I took it back right hand only and very quiet with the hands. If the hands get too active early, they tend to roll the club and get the club face open and behind, or they can hinge it and shut the club face early. So you want to feel active arms, passive hands. I'm going to give you a good checkpoint also. At halfway back where the club's parallel to the ground, the club head should be right in line with your hands. If I drew a line down from the club head, it should be right about in the middle part of your feet. If you fan the club head will be behind your butt. If you take it outside, the club head will be way outside your hands. So keep the hands quiet, get the arms more active, and do a little checkpoint right about this position and see that the club head's right in line with your hands. That'll set you up for setting the club in the right path right off the bat and lead you into hitting the golf ball straighter and more consistent.
At number 2. 3 steps to perfect posture. Sean Hogan. How you set up over the ball greatly influences how well you're able to hit it. To correctly prep your posture for action, stand with the club pressed against your thighs. Then bend forward from your hips while slightly flexing your knees. If you do this without hunching your back, your arms will hang straight down. Perfect. Now grip the handle with your glove hand and check that it's at roughly a 45-degree angle to your forearm. Once you've taken hold with your gloved hand, add the other. Congrats! You're in perfect setup posture. And another useful tip by Sean Hogan.
If you want to maximize your distance with your driver, you've got to learn to hit up on the ball through impact. A lot of times players overspin the ball because they're hitting down on it, sometimes hitting pop-ups. So in order to do that, we're going to use the head cover drill. This is something you can do at home. You don't necessarily need to hit the ball itself. Just put the head cover about a foot or so out in front of the tee. In this case, I'll demonstrate as you can do it hitting shots as well. So head cover about a foot in front, going to take my driver setup, ball up the front of the stance, just a gentle tilt and lean back into my trail side here. So my spine feels like I'm on an upslope here. My spine is tilted away from the target. I'm going to make a comfortable backswing and swing up over the head cover. Beautiful. Nice high draw, low amount of spin, maximizing the distance. So if you're one of those players that tends to overspin it, perhaps hitting slices, hitting down and across it, it's a great little drill. As I say, it really works well at home. You can train it in your backyard head cover front, out in front of the tee. See if you can flip the top of the tee and swing up over the head cover. It'll help you maximize your distance with the driver. Have fun.
At number 3. Get square at the start. Mark Durland. Often, shots go wayward because of a misaligned club face at address. Place an alignment stick just outside the golf ball, so it creates a 90-degree angle with the target line. As you set up, align the leading edge of the club with the stick, then pull it back to its regular position. It's a simple way to ensure that the face is square every time. And another useful tip by Mark Durland.
What do most students that come to me want? They want to hit the golf ball further. Well, to do that, we need to create more speed. Am I going to create more speed with tension, where I'm swinging the club very mechanically? Or am I going to create more speed by shaking it loose, getting those greasy elbows? So the first element I want to go over is the grip. And the most important thing about the grip to me when I'm teaching people is that you have to have one. If I don't have a grip, I'm not playing golf. So there's a little bit of leeway there, and the reason that I say that is we look at guys like Jordan Spieth, Paul Azinger, come to the top of mind, Dustin Johnson, that have different sorts of grips, but I would take their playing record any day of the week. So when I go over the grip, I do teach probably 20 to 25 people a year that have never touched a club before. And so I'm putting the club in their hand for the first time, so I've got to have some sort of baseline that I like to work around. And that's what I'm going to share here with you. The most important thing, or the next most important thing about the grip, is that it matches your pattern. So I see people with a very weak grip. That would be both hands turned towards the target, but they have it in a very nice position at the top of the backswing. I see people with very strong grips that would be turned away from the target, both hands. And again, the club's in a really good position, or it could even be a little open. So just because I have a weak or a strong grip at address does not mean that that club is going to be weak or strong at the top of the backswing. A lot of things can change, and that has to do with how I'm using my wrists in the backswing. Okay, so let's get into what do I like to see. And I'm going to do this right-handed, even though I have a left-handed club in my hand. So I start with the left hand, and one thing about golf versus other sports, so if I was holding a tennis racket, I would hold it in my palm. If I was holding a baseball bat, again, the bat would be more in my palms. We grip a golf club a little bit differently, and the way we do that is we grip it more down in the fingers. So when I close my hand, the V that I create between my index finger and my thumb should point right of my chin, and I'll take it as far right as your right shoulder. Don't want to see it outside your right shoulder. Now my right hand very simply comes in and covers the thumb. And if I look down again, that V between the index finger and my thumb on my right hand points to about the same spot. It's right of my chin and can go as far right as my right shoulder. Now within golf, there's 3 different ways we can grip it. So the first one would be the 10-finger grip. That's where I have all 10 fingers touching the grip. The next one would be the interlock grip, used by such players as Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. Most of us know those names, where the pinky finger of the right hand interlocks with the index finger of the left hand. And then there's what we call the Vardon or overlap grip, and that's where the pinky of my right hand just sits inside the index finger of my left hand. So a drill that I give to my beginning students who are working on their grip, or if at any point in your career your grip gets out of whack and it's time for a grip change, and I have a saying at my golf school, change a grip, lose a student. But if you need to change it, I have what I call a regrip drill. And what you do is you just take a club, and wherever you watch TV, you drink your coffee, you put the club right there. And when you sit down, you pull the club over, and you put it right up in front of your face, and you get your left hand on there the right way first. Then you put your right hand on, you grip it, and you put it down. And then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. So the next time you go to the golf course, your hands instinctively go to that position. Now, one last thing we need to talk about that gets asked at my golf schools, probably every school that I teach, and that's going to be tension or grip pressure. And I have one that I really like for that. So I want you holding on to the club. Obviously, I can't grip it so lightly that the club, especially hot, Florida in the summer, hands are sweating. I don't want the club to come flying out of your hands. So the way that I get rid of tension is I'll have a student hold a club up to me just like this, and I'll walk in and I'll start pulling on the club or on the grip towards me, away from them, and usually it's a wrestling match. There's a lot of tension, they're resisting me. And what I get them to do, or what I want to see them do, is create greasy elbows or loosen those elbows up. And as soon as I do that, you can see the tension in my hands disappears as well. So those greasy elbows, and if we remember some of the old-time golfers, Lee Trevino, Sam Snead come to mind, Chichi Rodriguez, when they would step into a golf shot, they would actually pump their arms just a little bit. And it was getting rid of that tension. It was creating those greasy elbows that then there was no tension in your hands. So one thing you can do as you're watching this video, I have one more thing to talk about when it comes to tension or pressure in your hands, is go ahead and stand up. I want you to hold your hands, both hands, out to your side, and I want you to clench your fists as tight as you possibly can. And I want you to drop them. And what happened? They drop very slowly, very mechanically. Now I want you to go up there, I want you to shake it out nice and loose, and I want you to drop. And what'd you hear? You could hear it on me, the slap. You could hear it as you did it yourself, the slap. Well, guess what that is? That's speed. What do most students that come to me want? They want to hit the golf ball further. Well, to do that, we need to create more speed. Am I going to create more speed with tension, where I'm swinging the club very mechanically? Or am I going to create more speed by shaking it loose, getting those greasy elbows, and you can see how those arms instantly start to swing faster.
At number 4. Get wide early for speed where it counts. CamChamp. Speed starts at the beginning of your swing. Whether you can whip at 80 miles per hour or 120 plus like me, the key to generating ball speed is creating width in your takeaway. I see a ton of recreational golfers who struggle to create a full turn or rotation. That problem starts during the takeaway. Many golfers just pick up their driver and turn their shoulders. In order to create maximum speed, you have to create maximum width. This is something I work on a lot. Try taking the club back almost as far out as you can, creating that width. Naturally, your body will want to turn with you. This will create more speed when you come down from the top. Here are some golf swing tips by Cameron Champ and Jamie Sadlowski.
Look at you guys. Not many people would think that with the size you are that you possess that kind of power. Cameron, where are you generating this speed from?
As I kind of load coming down into the ball, it doesn't really look like I swing very fast, but it's just I have very fast hips, which then create kind of my lag effect.
Jamie, what about you? I know you played hockey growing up as a kid.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you don't have to be big to hit it far. Like Cam was saying, it's fast twitch movements. So, a huge turn behind the ball, you get loaded up properly, and then from there you got a lot of width to create speed in your golf swing, and that's really how we hit it far. We're
all in love with the long ball. We all want to hit the ball farther. You mentioned one of the keys to your swing. Do you focus on any part of your swing?
Mainly, it's just a slow takeaway for me, and I tend to get over the top on my downswing. So mainly, I just think about completing my backswing, and from there, I just let it go.
Jamie, as you transition from being a world long drive champion, now trying to be on the PGA Tour, what changes have you made?
Yeah, I've shortened things up, and obviously I'm not trying to swing 150 miles an hour. I still want to swing fast because, length is such an advantage. Cam has showed that. So for me, slowed it down a little bit, but golf swing hasn't really changed that much.
I want to see you guys hit it because I want to learn something, and all of our viewers want to learn something.
Sure.
We've got the TrackMan set up. Total on that was 321. Maybe open it up a little bit.
Get it a little loose.
320, that's all? 185 ball speed, almost 186.
Tour average is what, 165
Yeah.
or 7 ball speed?
I don't know if you have the same thing, but I'm a little faster in competition. The numbers I'll
A
have,
little adrenaline.
yeah, because like, you know, the last event I got up to 196, which I can't do if I'm just sitting on the driving range.
Wow.
Pretty there.
That's 3 or 4 in a row. You can throw a blanket over them out there. Well, Jamie, let's see you do it.
All right.
Let's see you jump in there. That's a driver 5-iron for me. Ball speed 191, Jamie. Club speed 131. That's incredible. 321. So you guys both tied right now. 321. Can you open this up a bit?
Okay.
Don't get me by.
If it doesn't matter where it goes, no problem.
Solid 40.
Yeah, I just threw the challenge down.
Okay. Doesn't matter where it goes.
Oh, well, that one was right down. That was your best one. And the total on that,
340.
343.
If I've learned one thing after doing a bunch of outings is you always stop after a good one, because it's probably not going to get
So
any
I guess
better.
that means we're done with this portion of our show. Jamie Sedlowski hit at 343, and he's walking off. I want you to hit one more, Cameron,
All right.
while we enjoy this. See, you can learn something from watching good players. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to learn something from good players.
You're the technician.
We're just going to keep banging balls. Thanks for watching. See if this will help you. I'm sure it will.